Hi, everybody. I'm Jim Coles, worked at WNEP for 32 years, and we are bringing you a lot of fun in the sun, but also in the snow for Preston Steve's Cardboard Classic. These guys, you might know them if you're down from the Philadelphia area, the morning team of the esteemed radio station down there, 93.3 WMMR. Joining us now, Preston Elliott and Steve Marison, the morning show team. They were part of this extravaganza up at Montage Mountain. Guys, I'll let you go first. I don't know who's first in your pecking order. How about I'll make it Preston. Talk about why you came up to Montage, and first of all, where this idea came from, where it germinated so many years ago.
Well, Jim, we had the idea. It was a idea that I had. I remember we went up to the Poconos one time, and I just looked up there, and I'm like, man, wouldn't it be great if I could take like a picnic table or something like that, something that wasn't meant to be made for snow, and see if we could run it down, and make a spectacle out of it. And we figured, we could get some people to do this. So I just had the basic idea of using cardboard because it seems like the most malleable of materials one might have around, and sturdy as well. I think we've all at one time or another as a kid tried to slide down on some cardboard. And we started to throw it together. We used to do it in a different part of the Poconos, and we did it for years and years, had a great turnout. And the mountain that we used to work with, they had changed ownership and they no longer wanted to go forward with it. So Montage actually reached out to us, and it ended up being the perfect fit. It was fantastic, right adjacent to Scranton, great ski conditions, wonderful staff, a great lodge, and everything that needed. All the components were right there for a great event. So it was just a little bit further out than we had been from Philly in the past, and we weren't sure how people would be receptive to traveling a little bit further, but they ate it up, and we're like, oh man, this is our new home. We're all in on Montage.
Yeah, Steve, it's a great location. It's only about, as the crow flies, maybe a mile from our station. So it's convenient for us. But there are two events, if you will. One is for speed and one is more for style. But we have, as far as we know so far, it's cardboard. But there are a few more materials you're able to use. Talk about what is able to be put together to put these sleds together.
Right. It's tape, glue, string, paint, kind of turn our heads away at some of the things that might be incorporated on the larger ones, because what people manage to piece together is so impressive. But on some things we're pretty strict. You can't have like a wood infrastructure or something like that. You're using cardboard. Now, what level of cardboard, if you're using industrial, whatever, that's up to you. But with those parameters, the level of creativity and ingenuity and engineering never ceases to impress us. It's just amazing.
Well, when we had this original idea, and I guess it started with Preston. Preston, did you ever imagine it would be this big, this fast?
No idea. We were just hoping people would show up for the event, and then we started having, engineers get involved, people who did auto body work and stuff like that, who really, contractors who really knew how to handle material. And they started getting together with their creative friends and designers. And the next thing you know, we've got these contraptions that were just blowing our mind. So I had no idea that it would blow up into this whole thing.
Well, we want to show the highlights, but first we want to bring in from Montage Mountain, Tyler Crawford. Tyler, you've been on board with this for a couple of years. How you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you doing?
Knuckleheads from WMMR. You must have been thrilled. You were there. It was a fantastically perfect winter day, maybe about 45 degrees, cold in the morning, sunny in the afternoon, perfect for skiing, perfect for an extravaganza. Talk about how you got involved in this and really latched onto it with these two guys.
Oh my gosh, it was the perfect day. This is the kind of day, or that was the kind of day that we dream of when we planned this for so long. We're so happy to have WMMR and Preston and Steve up, of course. And it's just crazy to see what the events become. We're just taking a regular Friday in early March. And once we get these guys involved and the whole community involved with this amazing creativity, we just see tons and tons of people come out to have a great day on the snow, which of course is our favorite thing in the whole world.
You know, I grew up in Lackawanna County. I remember when the mountain went in, the whole design of the mountain in the mid 80s. That whole mountain, not just the ski resort, but everything around there. You have the community of Glenmara and the home, and golf courses and the baseball stadium, and the shops and the movie theater. This little venture of an idea some 45 years ago has really must be proud of what the means to Northeast.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing, and it's crazy to see the history of the mountain, and even just the last 10 years of history at the mountain. Not just Montage Mountain, our spot, but geographically, right down to where you guys are. It's great to see the community come together every year for so many different reasons. And again, winter's our favorite time of the year, and we just love to see everyone come up and celebrate with us.
It starts with the cardboard races, but then it goes on to a full weekend. You've actually really extrapolated this to more than just a one-day thing. Talk about your Mountain Fest. It must be like your second best weekend of the winter after, I would say, President's Day weekend.
Yeah, I think it might have been our best weekend of the entire winter. And of course, it's coming off of President's Weekend, which is great. We've always wanted to have a March kind of festival concert concept come together. Into the last couple of years, especially post-COVID, we've kind of thought, how can we make this bigger and bigger and bigger? And of course, partnering with Preston and Steve was step number one, and blowing out that big Friday spectacle and just making it so much fun for everyone to come up and see. But then also kind of partnering with some headlining acts. Of course, this year was Collective Soul, the 502s, and one of my personal favorite bands, OAR. And it was just awesome to see that kind of talent spread across 2 separate days in the snow. And it just seems to be getting bigger and bigger. And we're just really proud to host it. We're really proud that everyone's a part of it. And of course, we couldn't do it without the community's involvement. So we're very grateful.
All right, Tyler, we're going to put a bow on you. Enjoy the rest of your day. I know it's still some season to go in the skiing season, so I know you're busy, but Tyler Crawford, Montage Mountain, thanks for your support today, but also throughout the winter and helping out these guys from WMMR.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Thanks for being a part of it, and I'm sure we'll talk soon. Looking forward to next year.
All right. Well, Preston and Steve like to talk. That's why they're on the morning show. Let's give them this opportunity. How about you set up what we're going to see coming up? We already heard from Steve what goes into compiling these sleds, what you're able to use, maybe what you're not able to use. But there's 2 categories. Preston, you want to tell the viewers what we're going to see as far as speed, but also a little bit of style.
Absolutely. So we have 2 main categories that we have prizes for are the fastest sled, and that's a single person sled. So they're usually like a toboggan style where somebody will jump and run. And that's how we start off today. Those go pretty quickly, obviously, you can imagine, because they're for speed. And we time them, and then we have a cash prize for the winner of that. The overall biggest prize is for best design. And that's completely subjective to our judges. And it can be small. It doesn't have to be big. Doesn't mean necessarily that it's got the best style. And since we had that category, that's where you see people dressing in character, putting on, skits from time to time, or creating big monstrosities, the really monster ones that people love to see. And a lot of those also, there's another prize actually, Tim, that we have, which is for favorite fail. And one of the big mysteries about these creations is you don't get to test run these things. You build it, you take one run, it's done after that. So it's a big mystery as to whether it will even make it down the hill intact, make it down the hill at all, or if it can even stop when it gets to the bottom. So we always like to watch what happens when they do make it all the way down, because we're excited, but then we're like, oh my God, I hope they don't crash through the barrier,
Steve, talk about how many different sleds. I was shocked when I heard the amount of entries between the 2 categories. It's amazing that there's so much quantity, quality, but also variety that we're going to see here in the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, I think we're hitting up around 100 in the larger category, and then for the speed portion of it, maybe 30 or so. Yeah, so it was impressive. We kind of try to pick a sweet spot number wise, because over all the years we've gotten fairly efficient at getting everyone processed through. But as Preston pointed out, your maiden voyage is your one and only voyage for each of these things. And so what we really end up dealing with often is the removal of the debris of those that failed and keeping the runs clear for everyone who's competing. But so believe it or not, that everyone gets their run, and we're talking some of them that are, well, there was one that was 1,800 pounds, some are a ton and a half. I mean, these are very heavy. They have to be brought up and then run down. It's pretty impressive.
All right, our preamble is over. Let's get to the competition, guys. You can chime in however you want. We're going to start with the first category, and that is the fastest sled. And I believe the way most of these people that I've seen going down are face first, basically, like you said, like a one-man toboggan or sled, correct?
Yeah, very, very rarely you'll have somebody do kind of a sitting motion or sitting position. But for the most part, yeah, they want to run, jump, and fly and go as fast as they can. So you do get that head first most of the time.
All right, there's our first contestant. Very happy. How would you grade that one as a starter to see how they're doing?
Well, that was good. So obviously in Preston, we know we sort of just cross our fingers. So sometimes when they skyrocket down, there's that barrier that Montage has put up at the bottom, because they would go right through the lodge if they had no buffer to stop them. So that was a very good run right there.
Yeah.
And the thing is, again, there's no second run to learn. You learn as you go down. That's basically it. Here's a second contestant. And again, I'm old enough to remember when Fosbury flop was the new way of high jumping. It used to be you went face first, and then they went backwards, and everybody changed it. I want to see if anybody goes a different way besides going on their belly down here. But it seems like the most aerodynamic way is this way.
Yeah, definitely. And you get the best run and start. So that's going to help. This guy was dressed as a Schwarbomber from
Kyle
from the Phils. Yes, Kyle Schwarber. So he ended up helping us out all day long. As you'll see at the end here, I think he stops and flexes. He's a pretty in shape guy, and he ended up going back up to the top of the hill and helping us push down the rest of the sleds for the day.
It tells you something about the weather conditions that he went like that, or maybe it tells you something how many imbibements he had before he went down on the sled. But this one is a little more bundled up, a little bit swerving, but you can see by and large going straight.
Yep, and a pretty simple design too. It looks like it's a flat piece of cardboard, maybe a little bit of something on the front to help it stay up. But as you can see, it's pretty tuckered out by the time you hit the bottom.
Now, neither one of you guys competed in the fastest, but did either one of you guys go down like in the team competition?
Yeah, we always get invites from people to join us on the way down. So I'll make sure that I at least jump on a couple of them. I only did one this year, which was the very final sled, the giant Barbie camper van. And that one barely made it all the way down. But we'll hop on from time to time. It's so much fun. And it honestly, when you're sledding down in those things, it may not look like it, but when you're on them, it feels like you're going 100 miles an hour.
Especially with your face about 4 inches from the snow and the ice.
Yep.
Absolutely. This looks like one of the better runs. Is this true?
This is not bad. He's catching the sides. That's the tough part. When you start to skim the sides, it's going to slow you down for sure. But that one's not bad.
And he had a good dismount too. I don't know if you get points for that.
By the way, so on the speed, whereas in the larger category, you will gain points for presentation, you will gain points for skits or anything like that. Okay. As Preston pointed out, this is all about getting down as fast as you can, and that's why I don't think you see a lot of people losing it, going the other way, because you want to be as aerodynamic as possible.
Yeah, I did see a 360 in the prior run. I don't think that's the way they want to go down. I think you want to go for this category anyway. How many more do we have, Doug?
That's it for that category.
Okay, so of everybody in the fastest category, do you know which one was the winner from the ones we looked at? Did you ring a bell?
It was a long day, Jim, so I don't remember. I don't remember our fastest categories. Like Steve said, we had like 30 of them, and they're keeping track. And I don't recall the names of who won what, but I know we had some multiples. There were people that have won several years in a row. So I think our winner might have been one of those guys.
Oh, actually, I think we might have had an outsider come in, and who caught us off guard and actually dominated. But yeah, Preston's right. We have some people who are building up dynasties when it comes to this part of the Cardboard Classic.
When you say an outsider, I mean, are there professionals involved in this event or what?
Preston, at this point, it's there. I mean, you need to understand that people spend a good portion of the year doing this, putting it on. So are they professional in that they're earning money for doing it? No, but I would say that in the hours spent, one could call this at least a second job or a cottage industry at this point.
All right, I can buy that. Now, second design is again, I think it's the most fun part of the day. I love the different ideas that are going to be projected here over the next couple of minutes. I'm going to let you guys talk more than me here because you were there and you see these things. But was there any, before we even see one, was there one that impressed either one of you guys the most before it even went down the mountain?
Yeah, I think everybody was enamored by the Wawa sled this year because it was unique, detailed. It was structurally sound. It just had everything going for it, right, Steve?
Yeah, exactly. And it was the attention to detail. I mean, a full working counter, the breakfast sandwiches, everything was accurate, even to the look of the exterior. But there was a fighter jet that came down that blew me away. There was a Blues Brothers car chase, and they'll act out scenes from the movie so it may not just be one, it could be a number of different things sliding down the hill, recreating classic movie scenes. That happens quite a lot.
All right, so we're going to continue on here with the Preston and Steve's Cardboard Classic. This is the best design, and again, you're going to see some aerodynamically good ones. You're going to see rather elaborate designs, but the bottom line is, can you put a lot of people on these things, and can you get down to the mountain in one piece? And again, style points do count, right? To be a little theatrical here helps.
Yep.
All right, we're ready to continue on with this.
Huh.
Okay, go ahead. Describe this.
All right. This is our buddy Sammy Vile had put this together. This is Johnny 5 from the Short Circuit movies, Short Circuit 2 to be more specific, which was a robot that was featured in the movie. And he put this in honor because we've mentioned that from time to time. And Steve, here's the Stanley.
Stanley.
So this is the popular Stanley Cup that you can get from, like Target was running out of them because it was such a big purchase this year. And that one was fantastic. And
to the top of the straw on that, Preston, what would you say that is? Like 14 feet?
Yeah, 15 feet, something like that. And sometimes people will focus in on the latest pop culture crazes and things like that as their themes. And these guys, we weren't expecting this one. When you could see it off in the distance before we even got check that out.
That's cool. And pardon the pun. Now, this one looks like something the Jetsons put together.
These guys had a great run. They go all the way through the barrier, I believe, if we see the end here. So, watch this. This is great. I couldn't believe they went this far, Steve.
Yeah. Oh, no. Well, almost. But well, that might be the aftermath. We had two swings, one with an active swinger on it. This guy, not the classic swinger. There he is. He's swinging back and forth. Made it all the way down. Both of them stayed intact. But to have one actively swinging while the sled is underway is pretty amazing.
Yeah, this side gives way here, but it still stays intact, which I was impressed with.
Yeah, the builder's name is Clutch, and he's done a lot of moving part sleds throughout the years for this event, so he knows what he's doing. Here you go, Steve.
This is great. Go ahead, Steve.
Look at this. So this is a Top Gun. It tributes to Top Gun. So they had Goose, they had Maverick. So they're all in there. There's a whole bunch of people in the fuselage. They make the run down to the bottom, and then they reenact Goose's death at the bottom of the hill with, in fact, they were using fake blood, and the montage staff is so crack at what they do that they thought someone was injured, and they went running over to help them, but they were just simply acting out the movie.
All right, this is a tribute to National Lampoon's Vacation. It is Wally World's roller coaster. You can see Marty
cigar.
And yeah, that's our old boss, Bill Weston, who is retired now, and he came out for this event.
Nice.
But you can see there's about, I don't know, 30 people on this thing.
A lot.
And there's Jason Kelsey, you can see without his shirt on. Somebody had, they did a creation of him. This is our friend Bob Havens, who was last year's champion, by the way. And I think he came in second place this year with this particular one.
I mean, look at all those people.
As a Penn State fan and as a New York Giants fan, I'm glad I'm not seeing Saquon Barkley going down there representing the Eagles. That's a little that hurts.
Here's the Wawa. Now,
hold on a second.
Yeah.
Stop that. Okay, go ahead now.
So look at the bag of this. Those are 2 working gas pumps. Only they don't have gasoline in them. They have iced tea, lemonade, and vodka drinks. A John Daly that you could actually pour out of the working pump. And so they loaded this up with everything. Chris Geisens, the CEO of Wawa, was incredibly impressed with this because I reached out to Wawa afterwards, and they love seeing this. They do a great run on this. They make it all the way down and through.
Personal favorite?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd say so, just because of but there's honestly, there are just so many ones that are neck and neck.
All right, I don't see Margot Robbie, but I know this has something to do with Barbie, right?
Yeah, so this is the Barbie camper, and it was the biggest one. It was at least 1,800 pounds, and there's about 40 people inside of that thing. I was in the driver's seat for this, by the way.
Nice.
Our friend Mike Javorka, who we know as Mr. Peanut, had created this, and you can see it starts to fall apart. The front end was coming off, but inside that thing, everybody was screaming and yelling while we were on the way down. Just having an absolute ball, and this was definitely a fan favorite from this year.
Who came up with this idea? Obviously, Barbie was along with Oppenheimer. We didn't have Oppenheimer. That might be the best thing involved for everybody. But who came up with the idea for Barbie, other than being one of the movies of the year?
That's our friend Mike. So, Steve, I just assumed the movie. He thought it would be a good idea.
So what happens is, and what you don't see is that they're inspired by, as Preston said, what's in the news, the Stanley Cup, or what is sort of the trendy thing, or what is the TikTok trend, as well as the movies that are out. And then they also reference a lot of things that have to do with the show, whether they be phrases or things that we've talked about, or topics or personal things we've mentioned on the air. And it's sort of this great amalgam of all that stuff, and they go crazy. And we certainly don't have the creativity to pull stuff off like this, but they do.
So we come up with the idea. So from idea to fruition, from Canon Barbie to 1,200 pounds and 30, 40 people going down the slope. How long did that take to get to the finish line, literally?
Like seconds wise?
Yeah. No, like time wise to put it together.
That's a good question. Like Steve said, there are some people that will get started maybe in the fall, or they'll masking the product. They'll start collecting cardboard throughout the year, and then maybe that inspiration will pop up in late summer, early fall, and then they'll start getting to work on it. And people will send us videos of the creations as they are being put together. And what's great, Jim, about some of these things is, even though it's because people will spend so much time of them, or the attention to detail. So I'll give you an example. There was a Blues Brothers car that somebody had created. Inside, the radio was tuned to WMMR. It had a cardboard radio inside there. Okay. They also, like in the movie, they had the missing cigarette lighter, which Jake does at the beginning of the movie, throws it out the window. So they pay attention to these tiny little details. I remember one year somebody had done the Lone Star Mobile from Spaceballs, the Winnebago that he flew, and they had the can of liquid Schwartz inside of the glove compartment, and like all these little itty bitty details that they will make sure that they include is a part of why it can take so much time. But they're meticulous, because before the whole thing starts, Jim, all these things are out on display and people go by, and it's like at a car show, like at a classic car show. They'll go around, they'll take a look at the craftsmanship, they'll take pictures with them, they'll meet the people. Some hand out tchotchkes, stickers, and cozies, and t-shirts, and all the stuff to go along with what they've spent so much time creating. And it's usually a big group project. There'll be a group of friends. And a lot of these groups that do this year round know each other, so they're in touch with each other.
So it's not just what all the fans are seeing on the outside. There's a lot of interior work, and it's basically a labor of love because it means something to them, so the Schwartz can be with them or whatever it is in that case.
Well, and that's the thing is they invest all this time, and that's why we've often lamented if only we could have some sort of warehouse or museum to store these things in,
Right.
because of that detail. But it is, it is a moment in time. It's lightning in a bottle, and they know it, and that I think is part of the reason that they put the care into it. They know it's going to have its moment on the stage, on the slope, and then it'll be, reduced into, garbage and hauled away. But for that brief moment, it has its moment in the sun, and they love putting the time into it.
All right, we've had 2 categories, and there are 2 categories, but there is a third category, which is culled from both other categories, and that, of course, is the best wipeouts. We don't have the Safaris playing the song with the drum, but here we go. I think this might be the most fun part of what we're going to see. And again, both guys chime in as you wish. Let it roll. The best wipeouts from the challenge.
Oh, I remember these guys. They were from a brewery, and they had a pig. Boy, they get tossed.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you go sideways, it's like being on a snowboard. If you catch the edge, it's going to flip you over. Let's see. I don't remember this one, Steve. We never were able to
determine exactly what it was, but there were some that just didn't make it anywhere near down the hill.
Yep.
This again, you see it turning sideways, eating the wall, and then it just disintegrates.
Best laid plans. And again, you really have to get the balance of the weight, I suppose. I mean, and again, how do you practice it? You're getting one shot.
Exactly. It's all theoretical until you get out there. It's like having the right stuff.
Tito's vodka. I guess there was some imbibing going on this day, right?
Just a tiny bit. Just maybe a
Yeah.
bit. All right. This guy was. He tried to recreate the horse that ran free on Interstate 95.
Yeah.
Years ago. He had put that together like the day before, and I think the craftsmanship speaks for itself.
Shows that.
Oddly enough, the actual horse did better than this did.
Yeah. But he does have the 95 sign, and there we go. This one, no.
I think it's a snowblower.
Yeah.
And, that was a pretty solid fail because it completely crumbles, and you can see everybody laying on top of each other. This is the Blues Brothers one. Okay,
right.
so
Nice.
here you have the main mobile making its way down the Blues Mobile, and then the movie had the most police crashes of all time. So they sent down, I think, 10 cardboard cop cars that came behind it, and then you see them doing a little Blues Brothers dance at the end there with the nun as well.
From Joliet, Illinois to the Northeast Pennsylvania. Good stuff.
Yep. And here's the wake of destruction of the cars behind them.
The carnage. Yep.
So we love it when people do a big group involved in theirs. Now this is good. I guess Twisted Tea.
Yeah.
Is their favorite. Oh, and they actually, I believe Casey interviewed them, and they drank all of those. By the way, little pieces of Twisted Tea. And you've got to do something with the garbage, so make a sled out of it. Oh, this was a great one, Mario Kart.
Yes. Yeah.
They were racing each other, and I think the princess ends up winning the whole thing, but a few of them didn't.
But you know what, as Preston, as we pointed out a number of times, when they're doing a thematic sort of thing, or they're copying a video game, or as with the Blues Brothers, where the crashes do occur, these actually remain true to the source material. So it worked out just like the video game.
Absolutely.
And you can see there is a wide margin of success there and failure.
Oh, look who it is.
Speaking of failure, go ahead. I'll let you take a crack at my buddies here.
They did pretty solid.
They did okay.
Their run. Yeah. In fact, last year was the first WNEP run. Well, actually, they didn't do so good this year. I was thinking of last year.
Yeah.
Last year, the crew made it all the way to the bottom. But this was a valiant effort. I think they get up and they continue pushing it. But
yeah,
Eric
fall in, and then you can see Chelsea Strube in the front, the blondie. She's still being exuberant, and there's Jeremy Luan, our meteorologist, and Allie Gallo there. So I mean, it wasn't pretty, but they're trying to show it like they did pretty good.
You know,
last year they made it all the way down. I'm sorry to interrupt, Steve. Yeah, am I correct about that?
You're exactly right. In fact, it was a very good run. The time was very good. I think, honestly, just because they caught the wall, that's what did them in. Structurally, this sled should have done pretty well.
All right, guys. So let's give us your thoughts on what we've seen and what you experienced and what you've learned over the years and what we could maybe look forward to come 2025.
Bigger and better is always the thing. So I think this year was amazing at Montage. I mean, we got lucky with the weather, a couple of bad days beforehand, but it turned just at the right time for a beautiful day. But one of the things we love, or one of the many things we love about Montage, are all the amenities that are available there. There's lots of food, there's lots of drink, there's things for you to do outside of the event. And obviously with the Mountain Fest concerts, that just makes it a whole full weekend package. But we just want to continue this tradition, and what we'd like to do is encourage people who've never participated before to take a crack at it, right, Steve?
Absolutely. And you talk about where we were before. That was technically closer to here. It took longer to get to it. Montage, everything is right there. The town and the lodge, the slope, it's all right there quickly. And it's much more of a comprehensive experience. So, I mean, we knew immediately last year, we said, this is where we want to be. So we're in the best of conditions, because what we're doing now is just simply tinkering with it. It works, and it works exceedingly well at Montage.
Yep. And Jim, what we want to see next year, you, baby.
I'll be there. I'm
Coming
67, but I'll be part of the entourage with our WNEP crew. Now, is there a deadline to sign up, to get involved, make your decision whether you want to go fast, whether you want to be in what category, and how do they contact you and get ready for the event for next year?
Yeah, we really don't announce it until I think mid December. So you got plenty of time. We will. I'm sure we'll have the event. So you can, the best thing to do is watch some of the old videos on our YouTube channel, Preston and Steve. Just type in Cardboard Classic, Preston and Steve, and you can get yourself some ideas about what works, what doesn't work, maybe some design modification ideas and themes and so on. And then just wait for our announcement. And then you've got, we usually give you like 2 months to get signed up and be a part of the whole thing. So, but I think in December, Steve, that's when we usually make the announcement.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I had a blast, and there's no doubt you've lured me to this event for next year. So I'm gonna start cracking this brain a little bit. I'll have to do a sports thing, because I'm a big sports fan. Between New York teams and Penn State football, that's where my ideas go with. So we'll see what we can do. Good luck with Saquon Barkley down there in Philadelphia. I know that was quite a catch for you guys.
All right.
And I will tell you right now, when you go down to Philadelphia, 93.3, go down that left side of the dial. It doesn't get any better than WMMR. It's the station I grew up listening to 25, 30 years ago when I used to go down to the shore, and I continue to listen to you guys. Preston and Steve, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
And to all the people that are joining in and enjoying this experience, we're glad to have you. We'll see you in 2025. And again, get those ideas coming. Isn't that far away? Take care.